Okay, good morning. Good morning and welcome to the 2025 Virtual University and Degree Information Fair. All week, we are hosting this event virtually and we'll be showcasing a variety of Seneca's partners, as well as a large amount of diploma to degree pathways that are available for Seneca graduates. My name is Jennifer Kloosterman, and I am one of the Academic Pathways coordinators here in the Academic Pathways office. We are here to support students that are looking to build on their Seneca credential, whether that be onto a diploma to degree pathway at Seneca or beyond at one of our partner institutions. The session we are doing today, right now, is with Trent University, and I'm going to be introducing my colleague Jonathan. We're going to have a short presentation outlining some of the highlights of Trent and some of the different pathways, and then at the end, we'll have some time for questions. So right now, I'll pass it over to Jonathan, and we'll meet in about 20 minutes or so to go over any questions anyone has.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Hello, Seneca. My name is Jonathan. I'm an enrollment officer here at Trent University, and I also represent the transfer portfolio here. So if you are thinking of transferring to Trent, if you're thinking of transferring out of Trent for whatever reason, I am the person you'll be contacting. I'm the person you'll be chatting with. I'm the person you'll be having coffee with, honestly, just to talk about your next plans, your future goals, and how we can get you there. And today we are essentially going to be focusing on that, transferring to Trent, what Trent has to offer to you as a student that might be thinking about pursuing their further education, and how we can get you there as well. I plan for this presentation to go to 20 minutes. It might go a little bit shorter. It might go a little bit longer, but I'll try my best to really speed it up if things get a little bit too jumbled at the end there. So why Trent University? Trent is a top undergraduate university in Ontario. We've had that title for 13 years, and I think that's something that we really, really take pride in. When it comes to undergraduate studies, this is kind of the cornerstone for any of that theoretical kind of post-secondary that you'll be getting. So maybe you are currently at Seneca and you're thinking, I want to get more into research. And I, started chatting with some of my colleagues and, they really, really enjoyed their master's program. And I think I can handle a master's program. I think I have what it takes for me to pursue a master's program, right? That undergraduate is going to get you those skills that you need, really bringing that cornerstone and that foundation to get you to where you need to be. Trent University acknowledged that, we realized that, and we invested a lot into our resources to make sure that that next step that you're taking is the right one. We also offer millions of dollars in scholarships, right? So that is whether you are transferring to Trent, whether you are currently in courses. Trent offers a variety of in-course based scholarships, bursaries, awards, and prizes to make sure that affording and financing your education is something that's manageable. It's something that feels real and tangible as well. And last but not least is career opportunities and supports. Whether you are a current student trying to find employment, whether you are currently halfway through your degree, or even at the tail end of your degree, and you're trying to figure out what you want your career to look like, or what you want your job prospects to look like, Trent University offers a variety of different resources to make sure that whatever decision you're making, whatever pathway that you want to choose, right, it's one that you've chosen, but it's also one that you feel confident about, which is why we offer a variety of different resources, including interview prep, resume builders, career boosters, and a variety of different job fairs to help you connect and network at your own pace and at your own style. Now, one of the big things that we really kind of emphasize is transfer agreements and pathways, right? You folks are currently at Seneca. You might be thinking of pursuing additional schooling. This is where on universities in Ontario and colleges kind of come together and create these deals, these transfer agreement of sorts. So with many transfer agreements and flexible pathways to Trent University, right, we make it easy for students to make the most out of the credits you've already earned. So let's say, for example, right, I'm going to use one of the Seneca examples because it's pretty straightforward. You folks have a computer programming and analysis advanced diploma, right? So that is a 3-year diploma. That is awesome. If you apply to Trent, right, and one of the stipulations that we need from our students applying that want to get into a transfer agreement is you need to graduate with an overall average minimum of 75%. If we calculate your average to be 75% minimum, we will automatically put in, for us in this specific agreement, 10 transfer credits. That means that you have earned an accumulation of 2 full university years, and you only need to complete 2 more in order to get your degree. All of those credits right, that you've taken at Seneca, those 3 years. We've placed it into our system, cross-checked it with our programs and kind of what that work amounts to. And we are able to kind of shave off literally half of your degree. You worked hard for these credits, you worked hard for the marks that you got, and we want to make sure that you're actually rewarded for that work that you put in. Now, that is a transfer agreement. In the event that you are taking a diploma and there is no transfer agreement available, that is completely okay. You can still apply to that program. We will go and take a look at all of the credits that you've taken. If it is above a 70%, we will then be able to do what we call a transfer credit assessment. We'll take a look and see if it has a relevant course. If it has a relevant course at Trent University, we'll give you that credit directly. If it does not, but it still meets the minimum 70%, we'll give you what we call an unassigned arts or unassigned science credit from a past program. So you can use an unassigned first year credit to take up a first year course, or an unassigned second or third year credit to take up a spot for a second year course or a third year course. I also advise to reach out to an academic advisor, which we'll talk about in a little bit, if you do want to have a deeper conversations about your transfer credits, how they're applied, or even reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to chat. So we have two main campuses. Our main campus is going to be in Peterborough. That is our first campus that was erected in 1964. If you're looking for any science-based courses, environmental science, chemistry, kinesiology, this is where you would end up going, right? We offer arts and science courses at our at our Peterborough campus. But however, something that I do like to point out is at our Durham campus, we offer specifically humanities and arts-based programs, including business. So if you are thinking of taking a science, right, that is another step that you might want to consider. Some folks do end up relocating, some folks end up commuting, but that's also based on their lifestyle, and that's also based on what they have, right? Another option is the residence options that we have here at Trent University. So as a first year student, so if this is the first time you're attending Trent University, your room is guaranteed. You get to choose your room, you get to choose your roommates, and on top of that, there's a variety of different clubs and groups and communities to really make you feel inclusive. A variety of different expenses are also included in your residence as well. So laundry is on site. There is a common room with a fully fledged kitchen. So if you do like to cook as opposed to eat more in the cafeteria, you can also do that as well. If you're looking for any prices, if you are interested in applying to residence, I would highly recommend visiting trentu.ca/residence, where you can find all of our prices. You can find some important dates and deadlines and some contacts to reach out if you have further questions. So, your degree and your way. Trent University is a champion when it comes to undergraduate studies. We absolutely love coming up with great, innovative, and new programs that not only kind of push the boundaries for the subject, but can also push kind of the boundaries of what students are capable of. And that's kind of why we wanted to bring this together and bring all of these programs and pathways with schools like Seneca. So we have a variety of different areas of study, right? We have the arts and humanities, science, business, econ, environmental, computer science, law, forensic, health, and media, social work, nursing, community, and teaching and education, right? Something that I always like to emphasize to students is that you are never, ever bound to one path, never bound to one path. As a Seneca student, if you are able to graduate with a admission requirement that we're looking for, you are eligible to apply to any and all of these programs, right? These are all pathways, these are all opportunities that are available to you. The only thing that you need to remember and keep an eye out for is going to be the deadlines, right? When can you apply for a program? When can you start a program? And two, what is the academic requirement for that program? If you're going for psychology, for example, we might just need a minimum 65, a minimum 70, right? If you're going for, let's say, forensic chemistry, that has a seated average of around 36 individuals, that average is going to be heightened up to around an 80% minimum, right? So things to take into consideration, and also things to think about as you kind of maneuver through this new transfer chapter in your life. We've just got the same slide here. So on top of being at university, on top of kind of going into these labs, going into these lectures, there is no discrimination for career opportunities. There's no discrimination for individuals that are trying to get ahead when it comes to their future, right? So whether you're looking for a co-op, right, that's attached to one of our many humanities programs and sciences, internships and placements. Maybe you're in business and you're thinking of transferring over to business and you want to kind of improve upon the tangible skills that you have, maybe increase your network, right? An internship and a placement could be very valuable. Community-based research is also available, research opportunities for undergrad and study abroad opportunities. I will say this, Trent University is one of the most kind of accessible, I'd say, institutions when it comes to research. Because we're a smaller school, our teachers have to get to know their students. They have to get to know their likes and their interests and what kind of gets them up in the morning to go to their classes. So that inherently causes you to have a rapport and a relationship with the professor. So when these opportunities do arise, when you start to get a little bit more invested in the work that you're doing, in turn, your professor has already also invested a little bit in you as well. They know who you are, they know your likes, your strengths, and they also know what you're interested in. So from that, new opportunities can come in, new networking opportunities can come in as well, and who knows where that can take you. So much so, again, that I also had to take an opportunity to study abroad. I absolutely love my time at Trent, but they absolutely sold me on the opportunity to kind of bring not only a piece of Trent, but a piece of my personality all over the world. So that's something that you can also think about, and it is also available, right? All of these experiences, all of these resources are available to students, both transfer and non-transfer students. Now, how are transfer credits assessed, right? So program pathway is defined by the transfer route from one post-secondary program to another. So pathways are created by post-secondary institutions, right, and are typically connected through related programs or field of study. So if you're taking an accounting diploma here, right, naturally it would make sense for an articulation agreement that deals with either accounting through business or straight up BBA, Bachelor of Business Administration, to be the pathway from that diploma. It wouldn't necessarily make sense for us to make an articulation agreement for accounting students to go directly into, I don't know, biochemistry. A little off. Now, pathways may include multiple institutions. That's something to keep an eye out as well, right? And have specific admissions and or program requirements. And usually provides the students with transfer courses or credits between those institutions, right? So, like I stated before, one program like psychology might have a different entrance average than a forensic biology, right? Or a Trent Swansea law degree, right? These are things to kind of take into consideration. That's also something to think about as you're applying. Unfortunately, if you don't meet one of our admission requirements, we can't necessarily assess your application. So we're looking for a minimum grade of 70% for courses to be considered for a course-by-course transfer credit assessment, right? So two-year academic programs with significant academic content, right, are typically eligible for 5.0 transfer credits, right? So that's equivalent to one full year. Or three-year academic programs with significant academic content are typically eligible for up to 7.5 transfer credits. Right. So this is specifically for individuals that don't have transfer agreements, right? With a 2-year, we can grant you up to 5.0 transfer credits. 3-year, we typically see 7.5. However, we have seen some diplomas, we have seen some advanced diplomas that come in that are very similar to some of the programming that we offer at Trent, and we're able to offer them, again, a little bit more, at times even the full 10. Trent University is also very generous when it comes to their transfer credits, so it's something that I always like to tell students. If you feel like you may be, that you may have missed a credit or two, we always encourage students to reach out to us and just let us know. You will probably have to provide a course syllabi just for us to kind of cross-reference with our courses. But again, you're never going to be penalized. We're never going to take away transfer credits because you're curious about your transfer credits, right? And last but not least, very important, all applications are assessed for transfer credit eligibility on an individual basis, right? So we're never going to group a variety of students together and say, based on, the overall average that we have here, this percentile will be eligible and this percentile will not. We will always take a look on an individual basis to see what you've done, what you've accomplished, and how we can better assist you as a student transferring to Trent University. So the Trent Transfer Credit Database. This is a fun little tool that we have that's available on your student portal after you've applied. or yep, after you apply. So you can search the Trent credit database in order to review some of the transfer credits that you may be eligible for. There's two versions of this. One version is included in your MyTrent portal, and that automatically kind of filters out the courses that you already have. And there is a public transfer credit database where you can look up any school, either in Ontario, in Canada, or even across the world. We have a few partners, which is really cool. But you can look up your college specifically. You can look up Seneca College, and you can start to scroll down and see the courses that we have kind of siphoned through and deemed to be eligible for a direct transfer credit. So if you are a little hesitant as to what you might be getting, this is a good way to kind of map out and get a rough sketch as to what you could be receiving from Trent University. And then from there, if you want to apply, you can absolutely do that as well, right? So please note something very important. If you do not see your courses listed in the transfer credit database, it probably means that we have not had the opportunity to previously evaluate your courses for transfer credit equivalency, right? So you may be required to submit course syllabi, like I stated previously. There's a lot of schools. There's a lot of programs. Programs change as well. Programs get amended. They have to get approved by Senate. So oftentimes we are also always kind of updating our lists. If we don't find anything, this is probably an opportunity for us to take a deeper look and also kind of update our information so you folks are a little bit more aware of what's going on. And last but not least, right, once you kind of have everything down, once you've, come down to our campus, taken a look and said that, you know what, I do want to apply to Trent. This is the next place that I want to be. There are a variety of different ways to apply to Trent. The most popular one I would probably say is through OUAC using the 105 application, so ouac.on.ca. You can also use a direct application. So if you're thinking of only coming to Trent University, right, so if Trent is your one and only, you can use the direct app, trentu.ca, which is found, on trentu.ca/transfer. It'll take you to a page that actually just negates OUAC. So you'll be in contact with us. But the catch is you only have one choice, and that choice is Trent. So you only have one choice for Trent and one choice for the program. The other good news on the direct app, it actually waives off the application fee. So again, if Trent was your only plan, was your only school you want to apply to, you want to save a little bit of money, we can absolutely do that. International applications and international applicants can be located on our website, trentu.ca/future students/international applicants and how to apply. All of this information will also be recorded, which is really nice. And every single one of these pages, including OUAC, even though it's not directly related to Trent or tied to Trent, have contact information, whether you're looking to email, get into a phone call, or even just have an appointment. We're always happy to kind of sit down and see what students are kind of thinking about, see what they're trying to kind of convey, see what they're trying to accomplish. And from there, we'll be more than happy to help. Now, submitting transcripts, this is probably going to be the most important thing. There's two ways to submit your transcripts through OUAC, right? So if you are coming straight from Ontario, you can send them electronically at admissions@trentu.ca. If you're outside of Ontario, excuse me, you can use your MyTrent portal, which is really nice, or you can email those transcripts at admissions@trentu.ca. If you specifically email us your admissions, we will count that as an unofficial transcript. An unofficial transcript is good to get your transfer credits assessed. It's good for us to find an average to then determine whether or not we want to give you a conditional offer. The reason why the offer is conditional is because we need the actual school, the representative of Seneca, to send in that transcript. Anybody can make up a transcript. If it's coming straight from the school, highly doubt that they're going to lie about it, which is why we make those the official transcripts. So you can get an offer with an unofficial transcript, but remember, you're not going to be fully accepted and able to start your studies if you don't provide us with an official transcript. And last but not least, right, we have millions of dollars in scholarships like I placed before. So we have entrance scholarships that are guaranteed at 80% or higher. We have renewable scholarships that get renewed each year, right? So it's not a bi-yearly, it's not once every 2 years. The maximum scholarship potential that students can get is up to $12,000 a year, right? So that's a year, so you can run it back every single year, which is absolutely amazing. And the prestigious scholarship that we have, our most popular one, goes up to $20,000, right? So there's a lot of money to be had. There's a lot of ways to fund your education. And I always like to kind of tell students that there's never a bad time, there's never a bad way to apply, so long as you apply. And if you have questions, just reach out. Academic advising, right? Really quickly, if you are struggling with kind of finding out your path, if you're kind of having issues figuring out whether or not you want to be in the program that you decided to apply to anyways, right? Maybe you're in a course that you think might be needed to graduate, but you're not sure. Academic advising is the place to help, right? They'll clarify your goals. They'll help you decide what courses to take, understand what you're taking, the academic regulations, connect with campus services, which is really important, and also take charge of your education, right? The same way that you've taken charge and making this next step to transfer, right? If you do find yourself kind of slipping, this is where academic advising can help lift you up a little bit. So I always advise students to reach out to them. And they can be reached at trentu.ca/advising. There you go. So full-time students have a minimum course load of 3.5% or 3.5 credits in order to be considered full-time, right? 2.5 credits per semester or 5.0 credits for the full year is what we are going off of, right? So anything below this would be part-time. So anything below 3.5 credits over the full year, you will be considered a part-time student. It's also going to impact your funding. It's also going to impact a couple of levy fees as well. So that's something to kind of keep in the back of your mind. Academic skills, clubs and groups, student accessibility services, peer supports, and colleges are also here, right? School is not just supposed to be about your head in the books, right? You're supposed to explore and kind of figure out who you are, your likes, your dislikes, and find new communities, right? And this is what we always like to push for. There's only growth can only happen from you, right? So with that being said, we can also take that growth outside of the classroom as well and share it within our communities. So there you go. You don't just become Trent. You don't just attend Trent. You become a part of Trent, and Trent becomes a part of you. And I genuinely do believe there's some truth there as well. If you want to know a little bit more about us, right, we do have open houses happening on the 14th of March, 2025, and the 1st of March, 2025 for Peterborough and Durham, respectively, right? If you want those dates, if you want some registration links, trentu.ca/open house is the place to go. And this is probably going to be where you're going to be getting all of your updates as well for that event. And last but not least, chat with me, right? If you do have any questions, chat with an enrollment advisor like myself. I can be contacted at transfer@trentu.ca or via phone 705-748-1011. And my extension here is 1332. I get everything. I have gotten everything, and I'm always happy to chat with students. Always happy to kind of clear the fog that's in the air, because I had that fog when I was a student. So if I can help you along your journey, I most definitely will. All right. So that concludes the end of my presentation. That concludes the end of kind of what I had here. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen. There you go. And I do understand that we have a little bit of time for some Q&A.
Yeah, thanks so much, Jonathan. That was really informative. So yeah, for the group that's here now, if you have any questions, feel free to post those into the chat or the Q&A. There's two options there. And we've got some time, so we can go through any of those questions as well. My colleague Samantha has posted the email address there in the chat as well, transfer@trentu.ca, so you can take note of that.
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone wants to take a look at the degree transfer guide on Seneca's site, that's where all of these different diploma to degree pathways are outlined. So you can look up your Seneca program, and then we'll list for you the different options at Trent and all of the other institutions that we have pathways with. And you'll be able to see like the minimum admission requirements, grade point averages that are required, and then we always outline the amount of transfer credit that you'd be looking at as well. I see some people are typing, so we'll just wait for those to come through.
Mm. As they're typing, I also want to remind students, if you do feel a little bit overwhelmed, right? If this does start to get a little bit kind of crazy in regards to what you need, what you might not need, always reach out. I think that's the biggest thing. We are quite literally here and getting paid to help you. And we always love hearing your stories. We love hearing your pathways and where you want to go. So never hesitate to reach out.
So the first question says, is it possible to just go in for a final year, maybe with a 3.5 GPA?
Absolutely. So one thing that I will emphasize is that Trent can only grant a maximum of 10.0 credits. Something that we kind of want to iron home is if you are studying at Trent, that's awesome. We at least want you to do half of your time here. Um, so unfortunately, you can't come in for a final year, finish that off, and then get a degree. You'll unfortunately have to do a minimum 2 years. Mm-hmm.
Um, does does Trent offer a program similar to Office Admin Executive?
Office admin executive. Yep. So that would probably be through our business. Actually, that would be through our BBA program. We have a variety of different specializations. One of those specializations is actually within HR and management studies. So if you're looking specifically just to lead teams, if you're looking specifically kind of just to take charge, we do have programs, and we also do have what we call options. So think of it as a mini minor. And it would essentially be a collection of courses that you can take that will essentially help you get those skills that you're looking for. So if one of those is in leadership, you can take a cluster of those courses throughout your 4 years, and then you can have that option in leadership studies.
Thank you. There's another question here. So we have a student that's in our cloud architecture administrator program. It's an 8-month graduate certificate. So we don't actually have any pathways from that grad cert to Trent. But they're asking, how can I get all my courses transferred? Are you asking about to like a bachelor's degree, or are you asking about to a master's? That would be my first question.
Mm-hmm.
And if you would like to be unmuted, we're a pretty small group. So if you'd like to be unmuted and you can ask these questions yourself, that's fine. Just raise your hand,
Mm-hmm.
and I can unmute you.
Absolutely. RP, I can answer that question. So if you're thinking of applying to a master's, at Trent at least, one thing that we do want our students to have is a recognizable bachelor's degree in order to attend our graduate studies. If you do have a master's from prior to Seneca, whether it is domestic or international, we will still assess it. We will still take a look and see if you are eligible for our program. But that is kind of one of our requirements for our master's program. Graduate at trentu.ca. If you want further information, a couple colleagues of mine work in that department. They'll be more than happy to chat.
Thank
Um,
you, Jenny, for letting me speak. So I will brief about myself. So I already have a bachelor's degree from my back home,
Mhm,
and I already got WAS accreditation for this same field.
mhm,
And after that, I continued here for cloud architecture program, which is 8 months, as Jennifer said. So I just
mhm.
want to know which master programs I can get transferred to, and how can I figure out that I am eligible for these master program. But because in the pathway section, I am
Yes.
lost.
No, no, absolutely. So I think the best plan of action would be to reach out to graduate studies. They have a rep exactly like myself that sits down and takes meetings with students like yourself to kind of figure out the path that makes more sense to them based on the background and also based on what you want to do moving forward. Yeah, that can be found at graduate at trentu.ca. Or sorry,
Sure.
graduate. Sorry, trentu.ca/graduate. My apologies.
Okay. And
Mm.
all the international programs wherever I can see, all I have to come to Trent University, or is it a partner program where it will be a hybrid kind of thing?
It could be so we do offer I believe 2 or 3 online programs. However, we are an in-person school, so the majority of our offerings will be in person.
Okay, makes sense.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you so
Um,
much.
yeah, absolutely. We offer master's programs as well for anybody wondering at Durham and Peterborough. So if that's something you're interested in, right, keep that in the back of your mind, trentu.ca/graduate.
And then I think we have time for one last question. I am studying environmental technician, so that's actually a 2-year program at Seneca,
Mhm.
but want to study environmental chemistry. My question is, can I take a gap of 2 years to get my permanent residency to pay tuition as a domestic student?
Absolutely, 100%. So in regards to your plan, so long as you finish your schooling, so long as you finish your your diploma, you are set, right? The only thing that we're looking for is a completion and a GPA of sorts. So if you have that, you can take 2 years, you can take 5 years to get that PR, but we're still going to honor your transcript. We're still going to honor the marks that you have. We're still going to honor the work that you've done. And if it does match our admissions requirements, we absolutely will hand you over an offer. We'll take a look at those transfer credits and give you those as well.
And to Santh, I see your questions here. All of the different pathways to Trent are outlined in the degree transfer guide, so you can definitely take a look at that. And also this presentation has been recorded, so it will be posted onto our event page, the same page that you used to register for today. So you can, if you were late, you can definitely go back and watch the rest of the presentation. Also, my colleague Sam has posted Jonathan's email address. If you have any further questions or need to connect, just take that down. And someone's asking, is there teaching programs at Trent? And I believe that there is, yeah.
Absolutely. So we have the teacher education stream. So if you're coming straight from college and you want to kind of get that experience along with your degree and then go into teachers college, you can do that. We have a Bachelor of Education, so we have a full-fledged teachers college. So if you have a previous degree that's still eligible, you can apply with that as well. We also have an Indigenous Bachelor of Education as well. So if you do identify as Indigenous, you are eligible to apply to our Indigenous specific Bachelor of Education, which is, I want to say, 5 years old. So it's a new concept that we have. Absolutely stunning. The conversations I've had with these students have been stellar, whether it's Indig or Bachelor of Education, teacher education stream. So if you do have questions, the best thing to do is reach out to us. Yeah, reach out to us.
I think that's the overall messaging, right? Just get in contact. There's so many different ways to connect. And I know you mentioned that Trent's having 2 different open houses coming up. So another great opportunity for students to connect and all of that. So we will end the session, but yes, there's so many more opportunities for anyone that's interested in Trent to get in touch with Jonathan and their team, and as well any other students at Seneca. The Academic Pathways team, we're here to support you as well. In the chat, we posted our email, our appointments, our calendar, all of that is there. So there's a lot of different resources for students who need the support when sort of planning that next step in your academic journey. So just wanted to say thank you to everyone for joining us today. And thank you so much, Jonathan, for taking the time to be with us and our students. This was a great presentation. I hope everyone, got some of the information that they were looking for. And yeah, hopefully we can connect at another time. And I hope everyone has a great day.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. All the best in your semesters, folks. Go Stings.
Thanks. Take care.